It's been a long weekend, huh? I know it has for me, and it's just been amazing. So thank you all for being a part of it. You know, I'm like, we're pretty much done. You know, we have a show this afternoon, which I'm super thrilled and excited about. But you know, for the most part, we're done, at least as far as the programming goes. And it's just been really a powerful experience. You know, I am still processing a lot of things, to be honest with you, with the summit, but also just like this particular summit, but just life in general. You know, drag is, I believe it's my calling, or the closest thing to it. I don't know if that's a word I use anymore, but I do feel like it's part of my purpose. It's part of why I'm here. I think it's part of, you know, it's part of how God continues to create me. God didn't create me once and was done. God is my creator. And God is no longer, like, and also I'm a co-creator with God. Like, I get to be a part of the process of my creation, and that's okay. I don't have to let God just, you know what I mean? Like, God, you know, and God's cool with that, I think. You know, I think it's important for me to understand that theology, because I think being raised the way that I was raised and growing up in the way that I did and seeing the world as I saw it, I was just a product of everything that happened to me. All the things I didn't have, all the opportunities I didn't get, or all the violence that was done on me, or, you know, all these sorts of things. And then I was just some sort of like what was left of all that. And I think I walked around for a long time just feeling like that's all I was just a product of all that. And I felt like I didn't have any agency, and I didn't have a lot of agency with a lot of that, right? But that didn't mean I didn't have to not have agency at all. And that didn't mean that I couldn't begin to have agency in the future. Now, that doesn't mean that I get to, you know, nothing happens to me that I don't want it to, you know, from here on out, just because I declared I'm co-creator with God. But because I am a co-creator with God, I get to deal with that. You know, I get to take what life gives me and I get to work with it, you know, and not be a victim to it. I think it's important to, you know, if you're hurt by something, like, pain is an important thing to sit through and work through, and to not pretend it's not there or to avoid, though that might be part of the process for some of us, because we lack the capacity to really go there. I know for me, it took me a while before I could actually sit with myself and sit with the truth of who I had become. And for me, getting sober was the first time that allowed me to begin to do that. You know, like, I was able to stay stopped, to be still long enough to actually let that pain bubble up in me and let the emotions come out from that pain. And it's not always just pain, it's like even joy and happiness. Oftentimes when I shut myself off from, because of the difficult things, it can make it really hard for me to experience joy, or to sit with the joy, or to sit with the happiness, or to even sit in gratitude for long. And so I interviewed my first drag artist back in 2014, Armand Fields, who goes by Cleopocalypse and Miss Penetration in Chicago. And at this time, I was not a drag artist. I was not a transgender person. At least I wasn't seeing myself that way, but I was enamored with drag artists. Like, I just was like, oh, like, you know, like, to me, I just felt like they were our spiritual leaders as a queer person, as somebody who grew up in church and was no longer felt like I fit there. Like, many of us have had those experiences in spiritual traditions or settings, regardless of what that is. And I think in a lot of ways, I saw drag artists doing what I thought my pastor would do, or what I thought, you know, like what the church should do. I saw drag queens and drag artists coming together and raising money to take care of us. I heard them on microphones telling people that they're racist or they're transphobic and how they need to be better or different, you know? I learned a lot about about disabilities and how they impact someone's life through drag artists. You know, I think drag artists are such powerful instruments for the Lord, if you will. I play with that language a little bit because I'm honestly, I don't know what to land with, but I get to use words that work well for me, and oftentimes I notice they sometimes land on others in a way that makes sense too. I have this, I'm still kind of in a little bit, this is kind of surreal for me to be hosting this Drag and Spirituality Summit. Like, to be perfectly honest, 4 weeks ago, this wasn't gonna happen. And I was angry. I was really angry about it, and that was good. That helped me understand what, it helped me understand that it mattered, I guess, you know what I mean? And we were able to kind of rally troops with Layla, and the crew was able to come through, and we were able to make this happen. But it's hard for me I want everybody to come here and have I just want, you know what I mean? And the cool thing is I really don't have that power, even though I run around here, try to make sure things are working the way they're supposed to work, and things are happening the way they're happening, so hopefully people are having a good experience, but oftentimes the magic that happens has nothing to do with any of that. I know for me, the thing that I love most about this is that people come from all over the US and Canada, and we all just get to hang out, and sometimes I forget to just let that be what it is. That we're all just a bunch of queer folks, drag artists, spiritual people on a journey that are just coming together, because there's not many spaces that we can do this. Many of us in conversations, I have a podcast where I've interviewed 57 drag artists from around US, Canada, and yeah, that is it. There was going to be one in the UK, but it fell through. time zones and all that stuff. And through that process, and even through my own journey, I felt like I was all alone. I just felt like I was some badass maverick. I was doing something that nobody ever done before, and it was so hard, or it was so isolating. And then I started talking with people, and it's no, it's not the new girl. We've been doing this for who knows how freaking long. And I was talking with other people that I felt like they were saying a lot of the same things. And so the idea of having this summit was to have an opportunity for all of us to get together and just know that we're not alone in the world. I think that helps us understand why we're in Tello, Idaho, or why we're in New Haven, Connecticut, or why we're in Toronto, even Canada, or Portland, Oregon, or Los Angeles, or Chicago. I'm trying to think where everybody's from today. There's other folks who are from other places as well that's been here this weekend, and I think it's just been so powerful to just get to be in the magic of you, and to be present with one another, and hopefully you've all been able to make connections, whether it's, we've had some amazing panel discussions, some amazing keynotes. The drag shows have been off the chain. It's just been such a magical experience, and I've just been moved so much, because there's also a lot of diversity within this queer drag spiritual label. There's still a lot of space for us all to be unique, but not terminally unique. I think I heard somebody say that this week as well. We all get to be unique, but when we let our uniqueness be terminal to us, it's not cute, nor is it helpful. And so I love that I can be in a space that I can be reminded of how unique I am. And that's a good thing. I remember growing up and people going, oh, that's so you, and I would think that was horrible, because I thought it was a backhanded compliment about, because it would bring up all my stuff around growing up in a trailer, or, people thought I was tacky white trash, and I just would had a little flair or whatever, but it was my thing. And now that I do drag, and now that I'm living as a trans person, I can know that that was just me peeking out, and people saw it even when they didn't know it, and it always kind of worked. It worked for me. It was a little harder for other people around me, but I don't care anymore most of the time. And that's why I just love that you all took the time to travel around the country, or travel across the street or whatever it took for you to get here. It just means the world to me. And I know that it means a lot to all of us that are here in the conversations that I've had with people. And so that I hope that this summit acts as a incubator, as a place for us to charge, as a place for us to be inspired, as a place for us to inspire others like us. And who knows what, maybe the world will look a little bit more like us, as we continue to go back to where we came from or where we go, either way. I'm not going to belabor it any longer than that, but I really just wanted to take a moment to just recognize that we're here, and sometimes that's all it takes, it doesn't, this whole summit was put on with like $7,000, and 5,000 of that goes to the panelists and the performers, and so, we do a lot with a little, and that's because of the magic of who we all are, and our resilience, and hopefully I think that speaks to maybe how much this matters to us and how important it is. So we're going to go ahead and take a little break. Or does anybody have any questions about anything, either the summit or? So many questions about summit. Yeah. But not for you. Okay, good. I'm cool with that. I just feel like I should, throw it out there. Yes, Scott.
Can we clap a lot for Bonnie Violet?
Let's not.
Being in center?
Yeah, so great question. So what does the future look like for this summit? So we're planning on next year. We're going to be in Toronto, Canada. King Jules has worked their magic and their college, Emmanuel, is it college or university?
So it's Emmanuel College at the University of Toronto.
Oh, see, I guess it was both. So and it'll be happening during the Thanksgiving holiday season, correct?
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Canadian, that's what I meant. In my head I was saying Canadian, but it didn't come out my mouth that way, so sorry. Yeah, so which is right around this same time of the year. So we'll put it out on the website as soon as we have the dates, and we'd love for you all to not only plan on coming, but also be part of creating the programming or the hospitality or any of that. This is there's space for all of us to show up here and give our gifts in whatever way that looks. I really hope that, and for me, dragon spirituality, and for all of us, doesn't just happen at the summit. And so there's a podcast called Dragon Spirituality that I talked about, where I interview folks. I'd love to interview any of you all who would like to talk to me about your dragon shit and your spirituality too. I would love to do that. And maybe there are also some other activities that can happen between now and then, or also if you all are doing things in your communities, it'd be great to be invited to come to you and in your space and that. So really, when I first thought to do the summit, I was like, I'll give it 3 years, see where it goes. But next year's Toronto, that's our 3rd year. And I'm thinking in 2025 we might do Boston. The Boston University School of Theology was one of our sponsors this year, and they seem to be really interested. But I was also considering Washington, D.C. for 2005, because that is the World Pride. World Pride is happening there in 2025, so I was thinking that might be kind of fun to try to tap into that somehow, so that we could begin to build a more global reach as well. So, but that's just something that is yet to be figured out. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that for now. All right, let's go ahead and take. What we're going to do is, I don't see. So we're going to go ahead and start the show at 2 o'clock. So that's about 30 minutes. So feel free. There's light snackage out there. Help yourself. I know it's not a lot, but there's a little bit. You have 30 minutes also, like if you all are in the show, it might be cute to, if you have time, like walk out in the park because there's lots of kids and families and stuff and see if people want to come back to the show. You're more than welcome to invite folks if you're feeling it. And then I also want to invite our chaplain for today. As many of you know, we've had spiritual care available to folks. And so I'd like for you to introduce yourself and how you're available for folks.
Thank you. Okay, I will start here.
The microphone is.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi. Oh.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is my name is Miyako, and I came from Japan 11 years ago, and recently I got American. I became American, so so that's the one news, and I crossed the Pacific Ocean so to arrive here. So I am currently working at the trauma center at the General Hospital Surgeon Chaplaincy to serve most vulnerable population in the city. So that most likely I'm intervening in a life or death situation. So it's not happening here. Hopefully, it's not happening. That is if you have any kind of concern in the relationship, and my boyfriend is cheating, or my mother is not talking with me, or that type of relationship. Or if you're wondering some life concerns, like how I go with, where I should go. So that type of big question is welcome to, and I'm happy to listen to you. So, and probably not the private spaces available around the entrance area, so that I am happy to go walk with you and nearby the park if you like to have a quiet moment to be listening. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, I forgot to open that too. I want to translate. Lois.
Thank you so much. And then Scott is also available for, is it biblioromancy? Bibliomancy. I wanted to throw romancy in there for something. Yeah, so feel free to take the 30 minutes to do with what you need, and we'll see you back here at 2. Thanks, everybody.